Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Lilly Loves Tarot. I do appreciate you. Welcome back to the channel. So, today we are going to delve straight into a topic that I have been wanting to do for quite some time. Okay. And for those of you who have been with me and supporting the channel, I do appreciate you. Welcome back. I'm going to do a couple of things different on the channel. There's going to be a mixture of tarot readings, and then we're just going to talk about some of the messages that come out of tarot readings and just love messages, just things that a lot of my clients go through or that we go through on the daily. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about, for those of you who are in these dating streets, pretty men. Let's talk about it, shall we? My lovelies, I hope we are living, I hope we are loving, and I hope we are learning, okay, as we go through our journey. So let's delve straight into it. Pretty men. Now, for those of you who are listening to this message, you may say, okay, what about them? Let me just state that if you are an attractive person, you are an attractive person. Kudos to you. Okay, doesn't matter what the gender is. If you are an attractive person, you take care of yourself, you have self-esteem, you have your boundaries, you know who you are, and you know what you want. And you are on your path to your destination. This particular message is for heterosexual women who are looking for heterosexual men. Okay, so this is a very specific message. And I'm going to talk about pretty privilege. Okay, and when it comes to dating pretty men, handsome men, good-looking men, from my perspective, people who are attractive in general are going to draw more attention to themselves. And it's natural, right? Because we are all visual beings. Now, when it comes to relationships, we all have our negotiables and our non-negotiables, right? To each his or her own. You decide what is important to you. Because at the end of the day, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I've had a lot of clients that have come to me for readings, and they will say to me, I look my best, I'm working on myself, I'm elevating, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And when I go out, I don't get approached. The men may look at me, they may smile, but they don't say anything. And I don't chase men. I don't believe that a woman should chase a man. Okay? So the man should approach you if he is interested. So sometimes we can give them a little cues to speed up the process. Okay? Especially if someone has locked eyes with you, there is a way to give them the invitation with your eyes, letting them know that it's okay to come forth. I do believe that, okay? But again, that is up to you. And I will always tell everyone to use caution. Okay? Use caution and be safe when you are out here in these dating streets or wherever you go on the daily. Okay? However, for those of you who may be complaining that, I met someone and he's very attractive and I'm kind of afraid to give this person a chance because they're so good looking. And I do not want to deal with the headache of dealing with other women. And I'm also apprehensive because this person will probably cheat. Let me tell you, your best defense is self-esteem. Remember, if you're attractive, they may be feeling the same way about you. It could be vice versa. Now, there's a lot of debate going on, right? On social media, you will hear the noise where people will say, all men cheat, all women cheat. Do you keep your options open? Be aware. There are exceptionally attractive men who are in relationships, who are married, and who are happy at home. And they do not cheat. And they are emotionally connected to their girlfriends and or spouse. It happens. Sometimes you will see the dynamics when you are out here on the daily. You may come across a woman, for a lot of you, who you may think does not have pretty privilege, whatever that definition is to you. And the husband and or boyfriend and companion looks like he came out off the runway. And you may be baffled and saying to yourself, what is going on with this? What's going on here? What does he see in her? Because I'm over here watching every calorie, right? Eating my fruit and vegetables, working out, doing everything possible to look my best. And she may be overweight. She may not have makeup on. She may look plain to you or average. And you do not see what he sees. I'm going to delve a little bit deeper here. What you may find attractive, someone else may not. It really depends on what this particular gentleman is looking for. I've had the opportunity to talk to men, attractive men that I do readings for, and it is a mixed bag. I have some clients that will tell me, I will not date or marry a beautiful woman, period. And when I ask them why, some of them will tell me, because I am afraid she will leave. And they're admitting to me that it's a self-esteem issue, straight up. I don't want to have to keep fighting for her attention. I want someone in the middle. I want someone that I'm attracted to, but I don't want top model. I've actually had men tell me this. I had an older gentleman tell me that when he was in college, he was dating 2 women. He said one was absolutely beautiful. She looked like a model. The other one, these were his words, was average looking at best. Both were very intelligent, smart. They were both very nice to him. And he thought both of them would make great companions, friends, and wives. However, I asked him, I said, who did you marry? And he said, I married the average looking one. I said, really? And he said, yes. I said, do you regret your decision? He said, no. He's been married for over 30 years. He's never been divorced. And when I asked him, and I posed the question to him, I said, do you regret your decision? And he said, no. He said, I feel a little guilty, but I knew that this was someone I could work with. I knew that this is somebody that I wouldn't have to worry about. Now, a lot of people will say, that's horrible. So he thinks less of her. This is up to your interpretation. I'm telling you exactly what the person said to me. He really didn't want to compete with other men. And he was afraid that if he married the model-looking woman, that she would not be faithful, that he would have to worry about her, and that he would have to deal with the competition from other men. On the other hand, there are men who want top model at any cost, and they are willing to pay for it. And they don't care what you bring to the table, as long as you look good. They don't care about your personality. They don't care if you're nice. They don't care if you're a nightmare to deal with. They don't care if you have a degree or no degree. They don't care if you're the waitress or the restaurant owner. If you look good, that's all that matters to them. And you stroke their ego by being in the room, by being with them. That's all they care about. And to some of you, you may say, well, this is shallow. Well, welcome to the real world. There are a lot of men who really don't care. So for a lot of you, and I want to bring this to the forefront, for those of you who think that you have to have money, you have to have pedigree, you have to live in a certain zip code, you have to dress a certain way, it's all a lie. And it's a lie from the hip. Because I've seen it with my own eyes. And I know relationships. I have friends who went to college. They did get a degree, but they didn't have any money. And their husbands are very well-to-do. And their husbands don't care if they use the degree or not. They don't care if they go back to school. They don't care if they have 50 cents or $20 to their name. They're just happy that she's in the room. Period. And then we have the others. So let's get back to the core subject here. Good-looking men, more than not, are usually going to always feel that they are the prize. And that you should take a back seat and get out of the mirror. Okay, so you have to understand that unless they are really grounded, unless they are really in their masculinity, they're not going to see you. because they're so heavily concentrated on themselves. And yes, men and women will be chasing them. Now, I'm not saying that just because a man is attractive, that he is going to open himself up to all invitations. I'm not stating that. But this is not for the faint of heart. So if a good-looking man is pursuing you, is serious about you, you need to lean back and let him prove himself. And time is your friend. But I would not say that you should just dismiss someone because they are very physically attractive. It depends on their character. It depends on their integrity. It depends on their belief systems and values. What do they value? Because I have met very attractive men who really want emotional connection. They've had top model. They've had Miss 4 Degrees on the wall. Okay? They really are looking for an emotional connect. And for some of them, looks don't always matter. Now, I know a lot of you are not going to believe this, but it is true. Loyalty. Let's talk about it. Can they trust you? Will you be faithful? Some men, pretty men, want that. They want someone they can talk to. They want someone that's not going to constantly challenge everything they do, challenge everything that they say. They're looking for a soft place to land. They want real relationship. They want a friendship with the person they're building their lives with. And they're looking deep. So this message, I just wanted to come out and state this. Yes, pretty men can be a problem. But it depends on their makeup, the integrity of them, their belief systems, their value systems, whether they have a moral compass, what fuels them, what drives them, what anchors them. That's what you need to find out. And some of you may be surprised that not all attractive men are looking for chit-chatter. That not all attractive men are just looking for looks. They want something deeper. They want real connection. So, an attractive person, yes, may have a lot of options, but so do you. So be careful who you just dismiss, who you just disregard. Do your homework, do your research. Get to know the individual. Because yes, pretty men can be a problem, but they can also be a blessing, depending on who they are on the inside. So I hope this message hits home for someone. Do not always judge a book by its cover. Sometimes the cover has two sides. And so just because they are physically appealing does not mean that they are not emotionally or spiritually appealing. So always look deep, before you leap. I want to thank everyone for tuning into this message. I do appreciate you. Until next time, continue living, loving, and learning. And as always, blessings to all of you. Take care.